keyword tracking software, but 20 years old. That's an older version they gave the public that the NSA uses for keyword reading faxes, reading emails, and tracking everything you do. And we wrote mainstream news articles and had high-level CIA, former CIA technology experts on the show to break down, give the names of the doctors that really founded Google out of MIT, and they're based at NASA at their research facility. I mean, it's a complete government front with some twit nerds strutting around, just like Bill Gates. It's really an IBM front when that whole company was set up. And then when the 50s, when old man Watson, the Nazi, died, he said, and this is in my film Endgame, he said, this entire thing is a foundation for eugenics. And then, people don't know what they're seeing. I was on the treadmill Monday at my house watching CNN, and they were cutting to Warren Buffett, and it showed Warren Buffett with Bill Gates Sr. Now, I recognized Bill Gates Sr., and I saw his name tag. They didn't say Bill Gates Sr. And it was those two. We ought to try to get Rob Dew to get Bill Gates Sr. on, because he was signing a book. He must have a new book out. It was white with black lettering. That's the head, or former head, he's on the board of Planned Parenthood. Might as well call that Adolf Hitler hood. Because that's where he wrote in his writings, he got all his ideas. So we have this going on. And so, they've all got this candy coating of we're liberals and we just don't want to hurt people's feelings, so we're going to ban you coming to our country, and we're going to ban you coming to Canada if you're George Galloway, the liberal. And, they're going to ban liberals, they're going to ban conservatives, they're going to ban everybody. And now they're pushing this, doing that here in the United States, and they got the bills introduced. H.R. 1913, in a shocking conclusion to the second day of hearings on the federal hate crimes bill, H.R. 1913, House Judiciary Democrats rejected the final amendment. Representative Steve King, he insisted that sexual orientation in the bill be specified by defined and not including pedophiles. But they said that's going to stay in there. And again, this is more restrictions on free speech, and that's what's happening there. But here is another bill. And it's H.R. 1966, Cyberbullying Prevention Act. And the media is pushing this all nationally. In fact, print that off for me, guys. Thanks. And we got the subsections here. It says, to cause substantial emotional distress through severe, repeated, and hostile speech. And it goes into their definition. Criticizing illegal aliens, you name it. In fact, Jason Burmis has been covering this in detail last week. It's finally broken into national news today. Domestic extremism lexicon. This is the lexicon, the definitions section for the last Department of Homeland Security thing that we all saw. And the feds have leaked this. They thought the public would be happy because it has Islamicists in there too, not just veterans, gun owners, and people buying ammunition. And it says alternative media, a term used to describe various information sources that provide a forum for interpretations of events and issues that differ radically from those presented in mass media products and outlets. And it goes on, anti-abortion groups, anti-immigrant groups, and that's what all this says. This is going to be illegal in America, and people don't have an immunity to this. People in other nations know tyranny when they see it, like in Russia or China. Here, we don't know because we don't think it can happen, and they're openly setting it up. It's openly happening. Same thing in England. They've had so much freedom, they have no idea. I mean, folks, I've been in England just walking down the street and police walk up and say, we're putting you in a database. And I talk to other people who live in England. They say every week people just walk up and ask, what are you doing in the park? Or what are you doing walking down the street? And they have face scanners to go in the bars now and thumbprinting to get food. And I mean, it's a total social engineering Tavistock Institute operation. Just amazing. So, is your blog a weapon? So we've got that going on. We need some big story on bullet points about the assault on free speech in the First Amendment. But the most incredible thing here is, here's another one. British MP Galloway banned from Canada. And and again, if they can do this to one person, they can do this to anybody. So I want to give the phone number out to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette that first wrote articles basically implying we made that cop killer shoot cops when it turned out he was actually attacking us on the web. Why did the Southern Poverty Law Center within 2 hours of the cops being dead and that guy being in custody, had already fed my name out of all the guy's internet visits. Why had they already fed that and then told the paper that he was my supporter when it turned out he was actually attacking me? Because we looked at his handle on the newspaper and went and pulled it up. Then they had to retract. But the issue is then the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, because I held up their news article, files a copyright claim with YouTube and shuts down a channel with over 2,000 videos and over 30+ million views. Trying to figure out how this works, folks. And then there are scores of articles admitting not just regular Army arresting citizens at the Kentucky Derby. Now it's suddenly being announced all over the news. Just the Army everywhere. I mean, it's just happening and right out in front of everyone. We'll be right back.
Put down your books and pick up a gun. We're gonna have a whole lot of fun. And it's 1, 2, 3. What are we fighting for?
All right, we are back live, ladies and gentlemen. I want to give you the phone number to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. We're going to throw that up on screen for PrisonPlanet.tv viewers. Here is the number to YouTube, and you can call and then get different extensions to different people there in the company. But you dial 650-253-0000. And they're involved in a massive purge of free speech across Google, and not just Google videos, but also YouTube. And, I mean, most of the channels I've known of are all being erased. They're just devastating the majority of sites. They advertised this whole time that it was a free, open community site. And they'll erase channels that have nothing but people's direct video uploads, you know, their own footage themselves. This show right now. But they don't care because they're starting to lose the fight. See, it's very simple. The bankers have stolen now over $14 trillion in 7 months. They will steal $26 trillion by 1 year on the 1-year anniversary of the banker takeover, October 3rd. Is that enough for them? No. Now they want all the new carbon taxes, and they're saying, yes, you're going to have block captains, and they've hired this is in the newspaper in Austin, Army intelligence people to run the local environmental groups that will make sure you're following your carbon footprint. And they're, Jefferson County News, the Army's out running checkpoints on the highways, even though the governor said no. I mean, you can go read these things. Here's the Kentucky Derby. Look at that. Regular Army with 45 sidearms going up and arresting citizens that jumped on the track after the race. Again, and then I was talking to Jaron, who watched the Derby. I was watching it just at a restaurant and saw the corner of my eye and freaked out. Nemo posted an article. Jaron said they had guys in berets at every door as the main security. I mean, it's just nothing but acclimation and conditioning. And then all this footage out of training drills where they practice with role players in the U.S., where they're practicing taking Americans to camps, and now Canadian footage of the Army practicing arresting local citizens and putting them in a camp. That footage and photos are up on Infowars.net, just went up tonight. Steve Watson did a key report on Canada, what's happening there. And it's just almost old hat. It's like, yeah, the Army... But see, notice they don't drop the hammer. It's just, yeah, the Army's here at car wrecks. They're here at drunk driving. They're here at the Super Bowl, Kentucky Derby. Canada announces, the regular Army's going to patrol Canada now to stop drunk drivers and drunks. Same thing here. The Army's here. It's to stop drunks. Look, there's an armored vehicle rolling by. It's to stop drunks. You're not for drunks, are you? There's Czechoslovakian troops doing gun confiscation training in Scotland. They're here to stop drunks. That was it. I mean... See how they have the same goal. It's the same BS in Canada, England, Australia, the United States. You're not for, and I keep making this point, but they're really doing it. You're not for drunks, are you? And then suddenly they're taking government local school money and having the regular Marine Corps and Army run public schools where they then threaten the kids with jail if they don't join the military and tell them it's the law, and it gets caught on tape. And the officers that threaten the kids to sign onto the military or they'll go to jail, they get promoted for lying. And people put their kids in the schools, and now they're becoming pure military academies. That's up on Infowars.com. In fact, pull that story up. Kurt and Emma did a story. They've got a local Fox Channel story. People going, our tax money? You're making our school a military academy, and the Marines are going to teach our kids now? They're like, yeah, you don't dislike the Marines, do you? I mean, that's Nazi Germany or Soviet Russia, where they turned the schools into military training camps. I told you under Secure Corps, Division of AmeriCorps, I read in the Philadelphia Daily News 6 years ago, almost 7, that it said they were training the middle schoolers and high schoolers with M16s in warrant service and writing dossiers on their parents. I mean, you can't make this up. And they just incrementally set it up, incrementally till you're conditioned to it, and it's now just ballooning, and now governors say no, and they say go to hell, and now Congress wants to see Pt2, and they're told no, you're not part of it. Here's the number to Google, folks. I mean, we can only do what we can do. 650-253-0000, 650-253-0000. You can call the president.